Hello my friends, welcome back. Today I am working on another 12 by 12 layout. This time I am using the Wildwood collection from Rosie Studios. When I first unboxed this collection, I was really drawn to the paper that has that really large floral cluster down one side of it, and immediately I kind of had an idea that I wanted to use that and like fussy cut that floral out and use it like a really huge embellishment, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So I've picked out a couple of pattern papers to go alongside it. I've got two smaller photos. I guess all in all they kind of work out to be about a 3x4 photo, and I'm gonna just start fussy cutting. So I ended up using a knife and my cutting board rather than scissors. That worked well for me. I'm not a massive fan of fussy cutting, but I do love the way that this turned out. I was pretty rough with the cutting, so I haven't gone right up to the edge of all of those elements. I've left a little bit of the background paper. That just gives me some leeway to be a little bit clumsier with it. It is going to help it stand out against the background as well. So I'm cutting a few little strips. I have a wider piece, I think it's about 2.5 inches of that peachy toned wood grain. And then I've got a couple of strips of the blue diagonal stripe there. And I did grab out this lighter blue 12 by 12 cardstock from the coordinating cardstock packs. I honestly can't stop raving about these cardstock packs. They are just like my favorite thing ever. They work so perfectly with the collections. It makes it so easy to pick a coordinating paper, and it means that I don't just always like go back to my fallback of white cardstock. So I'm picking this really pale blue for this one, and you can see me, I flipped my layout again, so this is actually the right hand side. It's just easier for me to see, especially when I'm filming for you guys if it's along the bottom. Now some of these florals were kind of cut off on that side, so the way that I've positioned them, it looked a bit strange that cut off edge was just sitting there. So I'm gonna trim down another very small strip. I'm going to use a really dark blue, and that's going to kind of hide or disguise the fact that those edges are straight and aren't actually part of the like embellishment, as it were, like the other side, which is fully kind of florals and leaves. So I'm going to pop this one on here. I'm not going to add too much adhesive because it's quite a thin little strip, but I am going to take this whole piece over to my sewing machine and stitch down all of those strips on the right hand side there, and then I just roughed them up. So I think I've got four rows of stitching there, and just gives it a little bit of texture, especially because that larger floral piece, it like takes up quite a lot of prominence there, and that is very flat since it is one piece. Now I'm going to sort through some of these die cuts. I want to pull out some of the floral pieces. There's kind of two styles in this collection of the florals. So some of them are a little bit flatter, like the bigger piece that I've used. They're kind of outlined flat kind of florals, and the other ones are a little bit more watercolory, a little bit looser. And so I tried to pull out the ones that were very similar to the big floral piece that I've used. But I gotta say, I've made quite a few layouts with this collection already, and I have used quite a lot of those florals too. So I'm kind of left with a few bits and pieces. I'm gonna make it work though. Now I matted both of those photos onto one piece of that same like navy pattern paper, just so that stripe, the strip on the right hand side, isn't quite so in your face obvious as not being the same as everything else. And then I started working with the die cuts. I thought that I would use this title that says Adventure Awaits. This is like our beach day. The thing is once I start placing all of these on here, it's that kind of got that tealy blue color in it that isn't anywhere else. I tried to add some back in with those kind of doily shaped die cuts. I just didn't love it. It kind of takes away from that color scheme. So it's like it's got the blues, but more of those kind of cooler toned blues. It's got some peachy colors. There's a little bit of green in there and some brown, but none of that teal anywhere. So I just made the executive decision. I'm going to avoid that color as best as I can, and just make it work with anything else that I've got there. So I probably won't end up using that die cut. I say that. This is at the time I was thinking, I'm probably not going to end up using this. And I know for a fact that I don't. I end up going back to the pack that has kind of scripty titles in it and finding an alternative version there. But as far as the rest of this goes, I'm going to add a little cluster up on the top left-hand side of my photos, and that consists of a peach colored frame. So I'm trying to add those particular colors that I pointed out before into kind of a couple of clusters here. This is where I swap out that title because there is the word adventure in there as well. And I know I've got some alphas in here, so I can create my own adventure awaits without having to use that die cut piece. So I'm going to add a little bit more green into this top left cluster, and at the bottom I'm loath to call it a cluster. It's not really, but I've got a peach die cut or a much darker coral color. I added a little bit of blue in there. That's where I'm going to put my title as well, and I'll add another extra floral to that once I've put my title in, but I really just wanted to kind of get this all laid out. So I'm trying to... The only thing that I didn't love about how this worked out is because that adventure is in that darker blue again, which I don't hate because, again, I'm tying all the colors back together. But because I've already matted my photo on that darker blue, I do lose a little bit of the script in there. It's a compromise I'm willing to make so that I can add kind of the consistency I want with the colors. So I've added in my extra piece of title with those little alphas. I will come back and adhere all of this down with liquid adhesive later just to make sure it all stays nice and stuck on. Here's where I'm adding, I guess it's a floral. It's a little bit more of a kind of leaf shape, and it fit in there nicely underneath those die cuts. I am kind of hiding some of that title, so the leaves cover up a little bit of the A, as does the larger floral piece cover up a little bit of the E, just kind of giving some dimension and layers in there. And then I grabbed all of the little heart puffy stickers from the puffy sticker sheet, popped those on. I thought I was done, but actually I'm going to be brave and add some splatters. I've got some gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. I covered up my photo and bravely splattered away, and then called this layout all done. I really loved how this came out. This was exactly what I was thinking of when I first saw that pattern paper, and it was totally worth the effort of fussy cutting around it. I just love how this looks. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye.